Welcome to the Bold Analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start first saying thank you very much for supporting baby Baky. Today at 2 p.m. we'll be in Kenyatta to hand over the cash, 200,000 to the father. We've managed to collect 213,390. We're going to hand over all that to the family. The other 13,000 will be used for buying medicine, and I will share the contact of Ronald so that if you can still also reach out to him in individual capacity, you'll be able to reach out and support Ronald. So keep it here. Immediately we hand over, we shall take the videos and the photos so that we can share with our viewers what transpired there. Then the process of removing baby Baky, discharging baby Baky will start immediately. I want us to look at these two members of parliament. The Elgeyo Marakwet West Kipchumba, what is his name? I want to get his name right. Timothy Kipchumba Toretich is going to record, and for the first time, he becomes the first Kalenjin member of parliament to go against the grain when decided to take on Wetangula head-on on the matter of losing neutrality. I took that video, I watched that video, and I think I really felt that one thing I said, when I saw both Wetangula and Gladys Sholei taking sides on this Rigathi motion, one of the things that crossed my mind, and I said it in this podcast, that they just needed to excuse themselves from this because they had lost neutrality. So I'm glad that MP is also raising it and is saying that Wetangula should and the deputy speaker should not be involved in that impeachment.
We need to give the deputy president a fair hearing. Honorable Speaker, it is on record. As you sit, Honorable Speaker, you are a neutral arbiter in this matter. This chamber sits as a trial chamber and is similar to the High Court pursuant to Article 125.
This is not a trial chamber
of the Constitution.
Tim,
Honorable
the trial
Speaker,
chamber is the Senate.
Irrespective of that, as we sit, Honorable Speaker, you are a neutral arbiter in this House. Honorable Speaker, it is on record that you have made a pronunciation or you have known to have taken sides on this matter. Honorable Speaker, as a neutral arbiter, you have expressed yourself on this subject matter together with the Deputy Speaker. Honorable Speaker, so that the Deputy President is given a fair hearing, would it be in order for you and the Deputy Speaker to recuse yourself of this matter? We have a panel of speakers in this House so that the Deputy President can be given a fair hearing before the floor of this House.
Timothy Kipchumba, to begin with, the Speaker here has taken no position. And I want to assure you that on Sunday, the Speaker was invited by the women rep for Machakos to attend a church service. And the priest called Father Vincent based his homily on the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 38 onwards. And the book says that if there are wicked people in society, tie a huge stone around their neck and toss them into the sea. It is not me who said it, it's the book. The book also says, if your right hand makes you to stumble, chop it off. If your left leg makes you to stumble, chop it off. If your left eye makes you to stumble, gouge it out. And all the Speaker said was that the homily was apt and our society should live that way. I am not conflicted in any way. I have no vote in this matter. I have no dog in this fight. And I can assure you the proceedings will proceed in accordance with fairness, the law, the constitution, and the rules of natural justice. Yes, Ichungwa.
Honorable Speaker.
One other member of parliament that has also joined the list of those walking out is Mohamed Jichopevu. The Nyali member of parliament have made a post 12 hours made a post on Tuesday night, and this is what he said. I have carefully read the charges in the impeachment motion against the Deputy President Rigathi. In good faith, I do not support this course of action and file it ill-intentioned seeking to demonize a public servant who has contributed immensely to this great country. Let it be known that I, Mohammed Ali Mohammed, did not sign the impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. God bless Kenya. So the two members of parliament are amongst UDA MPs that are now coming out bravely and saying they do not support the Rigathi impeachment. By the act of President William Ruto personally calling the 291 MPs, and according to one of the newsletters here is saying that since William Ruto came, he locked himself in State House and has been personally calling those MPs to whip them on Rigathi impeachment. And by that act, it is a clear sign that the marriage between Ruto and Rigathi has ended just within 2 years. Whatever happens after this, whatever the outcome of this impeachment process, the bottom line here is that Ruto and Rigathi have broken ranks, and if they are still going to stay, then it's just going to be a come we stay marriage. And I want you to look at this part. I've been consistently analyzing, and I told our viewers here that the grounds that promoters of Rigathi impeachment had been serving the country were just innuendos, theories, and very flimsy, that do not meet the constitutional threshold that 2010 document tried to put. So the one article 150 is where the Rigathi impeachment, the deputy president impeachment, is domiciled. But what was shared initially were very flimsy, and I wanted to listen to a couple of videos that Journalist Ken Mijunga had been releasing, and one he initiated, he spoke about how Rigathi, he spoke about how what Rigathi told some cabinet members who took that to Ruto, and in this video, you will see the confirmation, or rather, a very strong point that Ruto-Rigathi relationship is irretrievable.
After the first protests, the Gen Z protests that were very peaceful and very successful, what caught my attention is this thing has been long and running. Forget even about the press conference that was held in Mombasa straight after the president failed on the 25th to sign the finance bill into law. So one of the things that caught my attention, why I think this relationship is irretrievably broken, is Rigathi Gachagua chaired a cabinet committee at his office in Karen, and he spoke about the Gen Zs and everything that was going on in the country at that time, and he seems to have had a solution. So one of the things that Rigathi Gachagua did was to talk to the cabinet about the solution that he had. So after that meeting, interestingly, we are told that 5 cabinet secretaries approached Rigathi Gachagua and told Rigathi Gachagua that someone is calling me, I'll just hang up. So they told Rigathi Gachagua that it seems you have a very good idea on how to salvage this country. And they asked Rigathi Gachagua, can't you share this with your boss, who is the president? And amazingly, we understand that the answer that Rigathi Gachagua gave was sort of, why should he explain to the president how to salvage this country? So he told them sort of, why don't you tell him to quit, to leave that position for me, so that I can sort out these issues. So I honestly think this relationship is irretrievably broken. And the only person who can save Rigathi Gachagua is the president. But the question again is it in the interest of the president to save Rigathi Gachagua? And my take from where I sit, the deputy president never took his time to understand his boss. He never took his time to understand the character of the president and the person the president is. That's why things are going the way they're going. But we have the grounds, and it's going to Parliament on Tuesday. I think the voting will be next week on Tuesday before it goes before the Senate. So we have about 3 weeks in this country, maximum, 2 weeks minimum. But things are going to turn around very fast, and the coming week is very crucial. So it's intrinsic and it's interesting. They've said it's diversion, but I don't believe it's a diversion, and I'll tell you why. I told you yesterday that the only person who can save the deputy president is the president himself. I want to give you further evidence this morning that this relationship is irretrievably broken. You have all watched that video of Rigathi Gachagua castigating the president for meeting Ford Foundation. First, he misses the mark and says the president is in Washington. He met Walker in Washington. Actually, it was in New York, the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, the 79th. Now, that is further evidence that the deputy president can castigate the president who said during the Gen Z demonstrations that Ford Foundation was funding the demonstrations and went ahead to apportion blames here and there, Gen Z, opposition, Uhuru Kenyatta, all those things, and finally Ford Foundation was thrown in the mix. And then he meets Walker, and the president falls short of just congratulating them for democracy in Kenya. And the deputy president sits down and castigates the president and says, sasa hii ni rais ya Kenya anasema nini? Sort of, you don't have a stand as a president. Now, that is the last evidence you need that this thing is broken irreparably. So, have you seen the grounds of that petition? I'm telling you, just in 1 minute, it will not be moved by someone from Central, Murima. It will not happen. Those guys, self-preservation, they need their seats. Actually, majority of them are with the president. Very few of them are with the deputy president. And even that, I suspect they are going to leave. Apart from that, it cannot go to Nyanza. It's too obvious. You've been given, broad-based government is between Kalenjins now. It looks like Kalenjins are lowers. So Nyanza will not move it. Cost, they are very level-headed legislators there, but they will not move it. Now, who do you think will move this motion? My bet is this. One, first-time MP. First-time MP. It can't be a ranking member, seasoned member of parliament. Second time, third time. No, it can't be. Secondly, the best bet that we have this morning to move this motion is from Eastern Kenya. Part of mountain, sort of, but not mountain. Eastern, huko kwa kina Kalonzo, they are the ones moving this motion. And why? It's safe. No interest. Looks like there's no interest. No personal interest. That's what I mean. So it's interesting. This is a week that I told you a lot of interesting things are happening. Tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, this motion will be tabled. And I'm telling you, one of the grounds that they're going to use, because someone asked me an interesting question this morning. Ken, do you think there is a judge, being a lawyer, do you think there's a judge in this country who will allow frivolous grounds that are not anchored in law, that are rumors innuendos, perceptions to stand in terms of impeachment. Impeachment is clear, 150B, it's so clear. Is there a judge who will allow those frivolous, as they call them frivolous? I'm telling you, this thing is solid. There will be a criminal case against the deputy president that will be made. There will be a case against devolution that will be made against the deputy president. There will be a question about the working relationship with the president, a harmonious working with the national government that will be fronted here. And at the end of the day, take it to the bank. The members of parliament are going to impeach the deputy president.
Now, after realizing that the grounds of impeachment were very weak, there is something that the State House team, or rather that William Ruto did. And what he decided to do is to bring the criminal charges against the deputy president. I was saying that the court was going to look at that document. And remember, you can have, according to the rule of impeachment, is you can have 9 charges against you. But if you're found guilty even in one, you're going to be impeached. Now, that is what happened. If you look at, if you've been following the impeachment, you follow the impeachment against Kawira Mwangaza, then that business office, abuse, public utterances, all that. Now, you are allowed to have 10 charges against someone. But he must not be found guilty in all the 10. If he is found guilty even in 1 out of 10, then that's already enough ground. So, and the president have realized that in parliament, it was easily on numbers that because you can marshal 291 members, whether there is a ground, whether the ground is strong or not, it was just a matter of the president have said, so we have to go it. The same might apply for Senate. But when it goes to the court will look at the evidence introduced. And that is why they've taken a very dangerous turn, placing Rigathi in a very tight spot. The criminal charges leveled against Rigathi, and you can see a headline, I started there saying that the deputy president runs 22 companies. I don't know whether that is allowed, I don't know whether that is illegal, but what would be legal is how these companies work with government. And let's take a minute and or so and look at this Nation article on what Rigathi have done so far. It was reported that in November 2023, Crystal Kenya Limited, a proxy company of DP Ruto, purchased Outspan Hotel in Nyeri County from Aberdare Safari Hotels from 535 million. That's one, through a proxy, Rigathi's sons or something, proxy company of DP. So you see, that's the first claim. I don't know what's wrong with this. One thing we should question is where maybe he got 535 million. But the act of buying is not a problem. The issue is it government money or is it his money? The other one is directors of Crystal Kenya are the sons of the deputy president, Kevin Gachagua and Keith Ikinu. It was still in the same month that DP's sons acquired Treetops Lodge situated in Nyeri. So that's the first one. They're saying those are proceeds of crime. Now, Mr. Gachagua is also said through his proxies acquired Olive Gardens and Queensgate serviced apartments in Nairobi. Other listed properties include Ngara 1 apartments along Riara Road and Langata View apartments along Southern Bypass. That's another one. But if you look at that, they've still not put directly where money has been misappropriated, where Rigathi has got that money. Is it from a government ministry? Is it government money? Is it proceeds of his own profit? It's something. So that is another one. Vipingo Beach Resort. The deputy president is said to have spread his tentacles to the Kenyan coast and acquired Vipingo Beach Resort in Kilifi. So good has the DP's life has been after acquiring parcel of land, dubbed Ruguru Kiamariga in Madeira constituency, and constructed a helicopter landing facility for private use. Other parcels of land reportedly acquired by DP include 40 acres in Kakuret, Nyeri County, 80 acres in Meri County, and dairy farm in Nyandarua. Now, these people have just told the country what Rigathi have and what Rigathi has acquired. And they're saying those are proceeds of crime. They're asking Rigathi to account. It's like someone have realized, tell us where did you get this acres of land? When did you buy this? How did you get this? They just want to ask Rigathi questions. And if they go with just asking Rigathi where this and that without, because themselves they should have evidence of misappropriation, of fraud. But if you just go to ask Rigathi, why do you have this apartment within this time? Why do you have this? Why do you have this? There have been a lot of questions on that. Illegally acquired land now, they're saying. Additionally, Gachagua used his office of deputy president to influence unscrupulous Ministry of Lands officials to issue an allotment letter to Wamunyoro Investments Limited, a company he owns and situated in Embakasi. Now, this is what I was saying yesterday. So, used his office. Who is the minister in charge of lands? Alice Wahome. So, you see, a cabinet member has also been dragged in it. If you look at these issues of, Vipingo Resort, it is the Ministry of Tourism that has been dragged in it. So you see the way, and you see this is one of the things happening. These cases, that on land on Munyoro, where is the Ministry of Lands? How? So I have to explain. The Vipingo Beach Resorts fall under the Ministry, or especially these hotels, falls under the Ministry of Tourism. If this one's of land, apartments, this falls under the Ministry of Land. So you see two ministers. So Rebecca Miano and Alice Wahome has been dragged in that impeachment saga. Now, also highlighted was the involvement of companies linked to DP in the 3.57 billion irregular procurement of malaria nets in 2022-2023. Now, this story was flagged this year, and where it has also been leaked. Now, this is also another claim that is bringing the Ministry of Health in it. So you see how many ministries have been dragged in that impeachment? 3. Tourism, lands, health. 3. Now ministers have been dragged. Furthermore, DP is accused of using his influence unnecessary and expensive renovation of his official residence in Karen and Mombasa, running into millions of Kenyan shillings. This is supposed to be done by State House and Ministry of Public Works. So who is in charge of this? The State House team. So probably they are also dragging the State House in it. Then the several proxy companies used to trade with the office of deputy president. You see, now these are daily making and tenders. Look at it. Now the other one is they include Agro Brick Investment Limited, a building and construction company that was incorporated in 2017. The company has 2 directors, Kenyan, Indian descent, and non-Kenyan, who operates bank account at Sidian Bank. However, in October 2022, a man identified as Bhavita Nathalai Hirani was added to as an account signatory and given full mandate to operate the account. It is believed that on January 2023, company received transfer of 47 million from the office of the deputy president. Parliament had. Now, so they have linked that company to the deputy president. I don't know. So that is also going to be. So a bank has also been brought in this. Oh. And so in this matter, the DCI will have to come and give evidence on this. The payment was supported by refurbishment of deputy president's residence at 55 million. Okay, so these are the companies that renovated the residence of the DP, and they're saying there was a problem. There's a 45 million transferred to a related entity identified as whose account had been dormant for around 9 months before receiving payment from DP's office. So they've traced all those payments that DP's office have been making, and one of the things I can see here is They want to link those companies as saying that Ruto, DP traded with these companies that belongs to him. There is that company listed in St. Nicholas Rehabilitation Industrial Training. Now, there is 21 million from Office of Deputy President, March-June 2024, were utilized suspicious. Over 2 million were used to purchase car valued at 8 million and Marali Motors Limited. Some car that he bought. And then there is the story of rerouting money spent, money meant for the construction of Malindi Kilifi Highway, and has been rerouted and given to another company that I would want to explain. Another company that has been used to construct a road leading to that Vipingo Resort, which belongs to William Ruto. So, who is in charge of the Minister of Transport? Of course, now it is Chirchir, but it was Kipchumba Murkomen before. You've seen 5 cabinet members. 5. Alice Wahome on that issue of land, the Minister of Tourism on the hotel deals. You can see the Minister of Health on the issues of the health deal. You can see State House operations and once on construction, and then the Minister of Lands, the Minister of Transport, Murkomen, on the issues of rerouted budget that was supposed to be used to construct highways. I can read this and tell you without fear of contradiction that the DCI and NIS were single-handedly used to craft and get the grounds to impeach the deputy president. Single-handedly used to impeach the deputy president. And 2 things, the other thing from that, the other observation that we can also make from it is that the state managed to infiltrate Rigathi's friends and business empire. Of course, this one they can get with the state machinery. And it tells you the level of state machinery that was unleashed. You can look the state machinery that was unleashed on the DP. And that is why the DP have a is in a very delicate spot as we speak. Because from this you will see that these people are keen on making sure that they take DP out. It's all this can't be collected, all that can't be made. But I've not seen one thing. I can look at it. I've seen claims here and there, but unless they have evidence, I want to see the kind of evidence they have on this, because zingine namuuliza hii nyumba uko nayo, hii shamba uko nayo, ile uko nayo. They're not so clear. They're also saying this company has been paid from, most of it ni zile pesa ziko kwa office of the deputy president, the payments that have been made. And now they're saying those companies that have been receiving that money are linked to the deputy president. And in fact, government is exposing itself, because this thing even MPs do. If you ever operated around the MP, the CDF, if a school is to be built, and that's why the MPs, there is a big irony on these MPs. If a school is to be built, hiyo company wao inajenga shule na CDF, that company is normally linked to the MP. The same even to the president. Even now as we talk about this tender on the 104 billion tender for the ICT infrastructure to be used on SHA, the State House is purely in it. It's just like the president's hands cannot be directly in it. But the companies that received that tender are purely in that deal. So that is what they have done, bit of it. And that takes me to something that Rigathi must really have. Number one, the defense that Rigathi is putting on this case, the Rigathi must put best defense to defend himself, not just before the MPs, but know that because of these criminal charges, he can still find himself in court because of these criminal charges. So the defense must be keen, must be key. And the other route he can also explore, there are two routes to it. One is put a defense knowing that it's not just before the MPs. What you give in parliament might be used outside. The other thing that he must use here is cabinet members have been named, have been linked to that. If you look at that criminal charge sheet, 5 cabinet members have been linked to that impeachment. So one thing he needs to do, he needs to try his level best to drag them. Just drag, let the Ministry of Lands that is headed by Alice Wahome give a statement on that Wamunyororo deal. Now, the hotel in Nyeri, I believe, they say it belonged to KWS, which is under the Ministry of Tourism. Rebecca Miano is in charge. Let Rebecca Miano come and explain more about that. The other one is that of, and the Vipingo Beach Resort. The other one is about the Ministry of Transport, some roads that were supposed to be constructed and budgetary routed to construct a road leading to a hotel. The person to answer that question is not even the DP, is the minister in charge. If he can be able to do this, he will actually dissolve and deflate all this pressure that is put around it. When I come back, let me look at the option that some newspaper is talking about and more about this. Thank you.